Today we're driving the biggest non-commercial truck I've ever driven. This is the 2026 F-450 Super Duty Crew Cab Platinum. It has a 6.7 liter high output V8 diesel engine. It's a Powerstroke. It makes 500 horsepower and 1,200 pound-feet of torque. Let's start it up, walk you guys around it, and we'll take this thing for a drive and give you guys some driving impressions on the road. So this thing is built for towing, and let's get that out of the way first. This will tow up to 30,000 pounds. 30,000 pounds with a hitch, or 40,000 pounds with a gooseneck. Pretty wild stuff. Interior is super luxurious, very well appointed. This costs, as tested, about $117,000. You've got around $19,000 worth of options on this F-450. Starting price is about 96 grand. So not cheap, but if you don't want to make any compromises in terms of capability and you still want a luxurious barge to drive around, this F-450 is kind of the king of the hill. This has all the capability of a commercial truck, but with lots of luxuries and amenities inside. We have a heated steering wheel, heated and ventilated seats, Sync 4 with a massive infotainment screen, 2 high, 4 high, and 4 low. A bunch of different drive modes, normal, slippery, off-road, tow haul, and eco. Let's hop outside and show you this ruby red exterior. Dually setup is standard, and this has 19.5-inch style commercial wheels. We're on a set of Continental tires, two 25/70 R 19.5 with the dualies. Looks proper. 8-foot bed, 176-inch wheelbase, and anywhere between 5,300 to 6,500 pounds of payload. You have an automatic tailgate that goes up or down. This bed cover folds back and forth, which is great. Look at that. That's where you have your gooseneck connection. A lot of space in here. Some extra accessory points. Bed lighting. More connections in there. A ruler, a step, a handle, all good things in your F-450. Just give that a little bump and it'll automatically lift up. Look at the size of this hitch. Everything in this feels overbuilt, understressed. The suspension, unladen, is super stiff. Very, very firm, but that's why it can handle all that payload and all that towing capability. Look how long this thing is. It's massive. I think it looks fantastic, especially in this red. The wide front fenders, the 19.5-inch wheels, all the chrome. 6.7 liter Powerstroke turbo diesel, 10-speed automatic transmission. Let's pop the hood, take a look at the heart here. If I can even see up there. There it is. It is just all torque. Super smooth, incredibly powerful. A lot of power going to those 4 rear tires. It'll get about 13 to 15 miles to the gallon on the highway, maybe a little bit lower than that in mixed driving. Towing, probably into the single digits, depending on what you're pulling. The plan this week was originally to have this tow the Miata and the BMW M2 out to a track day, but we couldn't get everything together with a gooseneck trailer or even a hitch connection in time. That's on us, but it could have done it no problem. What a beast. Let's show you guys what the back seat looks like. Here it is with a car seat. You've got your diesel and DEF right there. Little step. I read that people were deleting these because they didn't like the way they looked. I mean, I guess it's useful. Let's show you the back seat on the other side. Tons of room in the back of this, about the same that you'd get with a normal F-Series truck. You get heated seats, 2 USB-C ports, and the front seats almost look like something you'd get in a Lincoln. With this back piece, they kind of feel like it too. The King Ranch might have a little bit swankier of an interior, but this Platinum is definitely no slouch. It's so cool. All right, let's hop in. All the controls in here are pretty basic. You've seen them before. We have a B&O sound system. Let's go drive this thing and see what it's like on the road. One of the biggest wins with the F-450 versus the F-350 is a tighter turning radius. Let's go show that to you over there in that parking lot. For a truck this big and long, the maneuverability here is actually fantastic, and that's exactly what you want if you're hauling a big, heavy, long load. All right, so pulling into a parking spot. Look at that, that is amazing. Just incredible turning radius here. Just basically rotating on that rear wheel. Unloaded, if you're driving around on smooth roads, this drives awesome. If you're on any type of bumpy pavement without anything in the bed or connected to as a trailer, it's going to be pretty stiff. We'll show you some of that ride quality on this drive route today. But the stiffness in the suspension is meant and designed to handle a heavy load, and that's what this thing is all about. Towing a camper, towing a horse trailer, towing 8 cars, you can do it all. There's substitute TOFR in the Denali, also a diesel. It just pulls endlessly. 1,200 pound-feet of torque is plenty. You're so high up in this F-450 that you kind of lose a sense of speed as you're going down the road, but it's shocking how quickly this thing accelerates. The 6.7 liter Powerstroke is surprisingly smooth and refined and quiet. It's not clattering away. I've gotten a couple rougher shifts from the 10-speed auto this week, but for the most part, it's been very well behaved. Brake pedals, their height is adjustable, just like in my Viper. It is just a torque monster. Let's switch up our drive modes here. We'll do tow haul mode. That should keep revs a little bit higher. It'll change up our head-up display. You can see on the display we've got a trailer brake gain menu here. Got all your controls right there for that. Fuel economy, pitch, and your tachometer gets moved to the upper left-hand corner. Eco mode dulls your throttle response. I will say on this gauge cluster in normal mode, I feel like something is missing inside the tachometer display. It would be nice to get a gear indicator or just something to put inside there. It just looks empty. This is a really bumpy section of road here, and you feel it. Tire pressures are really, really high in this truck. 96 PSI in the front, about 81, 82 PSI for those rear dualies. You have some diesel gauges, engine, transmission, oil temp, voltage meters, and then more configuration you can do with your My Mode menu. There's even a calm screen. Pretty good visibility. Even these tow mirrors don't obstruct your side view too much. Of course, you can extend them out for even better visibility. Look at that. Or bring them back in. I like the lower wide angle mirror, and the upper mirror is just low enough that you can see over it. I haven't had any hampered visibility with this thing in traffic this week. We had a Ram and then we had a Tundra earlier this year that had tow mirrors, and you just couldn't see anything out of those trucks. It was almost dangerous. This is a really nice tow mirror setup here in this F450. I like the way power comes on this. It's super linear, very easy to modulate. We'll merge on here and take this onto the highway. It's actually been surprisingly easy to drive, aside from it just being too big for any parking space in a grocery store. It's got fantastic visibility. That rear end isn't as wide as you think it is going around corners. I adapted and adjusted to it almost immediately, and I'm not really used to driving trucks this big. Show you guys passing power here. Doesn't even need a downshift. With 30,000 pounds on the back, I don't know if this thing would even be breaking much of a sweat. I read somewhere that the ratings are actually a little bit underrated here on this F450, just to kind of get below certain commercial thresholds and limits. If there's any new vehicle on the road today that's overbuilt, it's one of these. Ride calms down a little bit on the highway. It's super quiet. We've got adaptive cruise control, lane centering, lane keeping. Seats are very comfy. Driving position has tons of adjustment. This tilting, telescoping steering wheel is super easy to operate. Seats, same deal. This does the same thing that my Raptor does, is it prompts you to keep your hands on the steering wheel even though you're applying a little bit of input. It's a torque sensing system and it's a little bit undersensitive, I think. So if you've got your lane keep assist on, you're going to need to be really putting some torque into that wheel to get it to sense that you're paying attention, your hands are on the wheel. I wish at this price point Ford would implement some type of a haptic system for that. That said, you don't have to use the system. You can just put your hand on the wheel. Steering is super light, really effortless. This thing tracks very, very straight. Column shifter's great. You do get some manual gear control. Oh, and then we also get the exhaust brake. Tons of decel with this. This is all off throttle right now, just with the exhaust brake. We've got automatic engine braking or manual up there. Easy access. Love all the physical controls in this interior. Everything you need is within a quick button press. Some of the initial setup you'll have to do in some deeper menus, but besides that, other than head-up display height, you don't really need to go into menus for anything else. Off throttle here again with the exhaust brake. Coming down from speed, awesome there, even at 40 miles an hour. Couple rattles there from that seat. Menu structure is pretty easy to navigate here. You got your head-up display controls. You can adjust the height. You can see trip, fuel, different gauges, auxiliary gauges, diesel gauges. There's an off-road page here too. Towing, status info, navigation. There we go. You can see your trailer info, trailer light status. And even at 75, 80 miles an hour, it's super quiet here on the highway. Let's connect CarPlay. Listen to this B&O sound system. It's nice to have a bit of a shelf here to stabilize your hand over bumps to control your infotainment. B&O sounds pretty good. It's clear, tons of bass, super powerful. Brake pedal positioning is a little bit interesting. It seems like the pedal is a little bit too high, and it's at its lowest setting right now. Luckily, there's a lot of adjustment in the steering column and the seat to get yourself in the right position. Pedal feel itself is really nice, really linear, easy to modulate. Little bit of that squish that you would associate with a big heavy truck like this, but for the most part, the brakes are really good to operate. Suspension here is definitely on the stiff side, but I don't think it's too different from any of the other options in this class when unloaded. It just kind of, it's the nature of the beast. You have to have a lot of spring rate to handle a lot of load. I've really enjoyed driving this thing this week. It's been fun. It's always cool to bring you guys something a little bit different on the channel. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. We'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Here's your key. You can remote start, pop a tailgate, and raise the tailgate. Nice handles here and steps. Need to back up a little bit. Don't know if I fit everything in one frame here. All right, guys, that's gonna be it for this one. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video. Take care.